You want to get murked, fool?
Yo, chill out. Watch out. Got him. What's up, Bill boys? Welcome back to Beyond Bounce. I think this is episode 10. Yeah, I think it's episode 10. Today we're talking about shoulder pain because I have shoulder pain and I have been doing things to help out with that shoulder pain. So yeah, we'll get right into it. Also, Darshil, do you have any experience with that before we
Um,
get
I'd
right
say
into it?
I'd say I like a few years ago, I've probably had some issues in terms of shoulder pain, but recently, as Juan would know the most, the most. I've just had issues around that area, but nothing directly in the shoulder, like shoulder impingement wise.
Okay.
So like
All right.
any actions, like if I were to do an overhead press, right, my shoulder doesn't hurt, but like
Yeah.
surrounding joints around it would hurt still.
Okay. So like your elbow, stuff like that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that comes from the shoulder. So there's certain things I want to talk about specifically. This is gonna be more related to my shoulder pain that could probably be related to other people's. Because yeah, mine is like I'll just explain it. Basically, as I've grown up, I grew up with a very rounded and kyphotic posture because one, I'm more naturally like that because I noticed that there's actually two different type of people. Let's give two of the best dunkers in the world, Jordan Kilgannon and Isaiah Rivera, as an example. Jordan Kilgannon, if you look at him, he has a more kyphotic posture, but he's not really like actually like kyphotic. You know what I'm saying? He just has a more rounded back. But then someone the shoulder blades attach like like I guess they're more flat onto the thoracic spine. Um, with obviously all the muscles and stuff and all the organs in the middle of that and all the surrounding tissue. But then someone like Isaiah, his upper back, his thoracic spine looks a lot more flat. Obviously, it's still gonna have like that natural curve. So Jordan is more like this. Isaiah is more like this. Like he has like a very like it looks flat. And my best friend also has this. It looks flat, and then their shoulder blade pops out more. It's very weird and I don't know. It just because I have a more like Jordan Kilgannon, and then some other people we have it more like Isaiah. Like their shoulder blades will pop out more. I also noticed the people with the shoulder blades that pop out more, they have more internal rotation, like naturally without the shoulder joint or complex like rolling forward. Um, Unlike someone like Jordan or someone like me that doesn't have that natural like internal rotation. So shoulder anatomy is definitely a thing I need to learn more about for sure. But let's get
But
into my
I
injury.
actually wanted to
You want
ask,
to say something?
yeah, because you're talking about like the different postures that people would naturally have, right? Like a kyphotic posture or a more flatter one
Upright.
or an upright one. Out of the three, or with the three of us, right? What would, if you can remember for Jayden, what do you think Jayden has more of?
I don't know.
And
He
but
looks
like,
more like his like okay. I would say okay. The way to differentiate the two, one the shoulder blade is more flat on their back, which is Jordan. And then Isaiah has a shoulder blade that pops out more. It looks like Jayden is more like Kilgannon. Also, you forgot to mention, yeah, Jayden's not with us today. He is doing errands. He is getting paid to do haircuts right now, so he's doing his
but he
thing.
will be back.
Of
We
course, will.
promise that.
Of course.
But and I guess for mine, what just off of how you've seen me,
Yep.
uh, where would my posture, I guess, lie on that end?
Um, I could definitely tell if you take your shirt off and then show me your back. If you're willing to do that. Or just like stand up and like show me your back. Like
Yeah,
just like
okay,
regularly, like
like
regularly. Like stand up, stand up.
like that, right?
Yeah. Hard to tell. You look probably more like Jordan. Or
Yeah,
maybe like Isaiah. I don't know. Hard to tell.
yeah. It's
With the
it
shirt
it
off
comes
for
with
sure.
it comes with me being a computer science major. Half the time we're
Mm,
literally, yeah,
yeah.
we're putting ourselves in that kind of posture.
Okay, to go off of that real quick, a major tip. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was thoracic spine extension, and I'll actually go into the study that I summarized here, because I don't have access to the study, so it's a very short one. Um, Basically, the thoracic spine, if it's too stiff, because the thoracic spine is naturally stiff, to protect the organs that the what do you call it, like the ribs and like your spine, like all of the organs inside that surround it, that surround your organs. It's meant to be stiff to be able to protect that. But if you have too much stiffness, you are going to have a lack of shoulder. Like your shoulder blade is going to be like you need. How do I say this? Shoulder mechanics are going to be limited, especially in your scapula, which is your shoulder blade. Basically, here it says a slouch posture significantly alters scapular movement during scapular plane abduction. And yeah, your range of motion is not going to be as well, so you're not going to be able to move your shoulder blade as much if you don't have that enough thoracic spine extension specifically. So yeah, it actually alters that. The best tip I can give you, if you didn't stretch, if you don't want to do any stretches, because there is a few stretches that you could do daily. The best thing you're gonna do is sleep on your back. I've been doing that the past few days, and it'll improve like more, I guess, permanently if you stay sleeping like that in the next few days. Like I've been sleeping on my back is the best thing for your thoracic spine posture, your extension. So yeah, because I
When you
wake up
sleep
and
on
then I
your
see like how upright I feel,
what
and my back feels really good too.
when you sleep on your back, do you still have like a pillow or some stuff, or what do you do?
Yeah. No, I sleep like obviously I have a pillow on my head, but sometimes like what I've noticed is that it can actually like be more comfortable to take the pillow off when I sleep on my back
Makes sense. Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I'm more like because when I have a pillow on my back I'm more like this, but then when like I realize like okay let me take this off, like you know what I'm saying.
No, it makes
But
sense.
yeah, so thoracic spine extension, that's something very important for scapular movement. And because if you lack that, you'll have some sort of impingement, which is what I have right now. Um, Another thing is your lats, having a lack of mobility in your lats. Your humerus needs to externally rotate to go overhead. And with that, you need lat mobility to allow your humerus to externally rotate because yeah, if you take your arm out like this and go into full external rotation and try and bring it up, you'll feel your lat like kind of tugging on it. So if you have some tightness there, again, it's not going to allow your humerus to get into the positions that you need to. So then there will be compensations, and then there will be a lead into pain. Another few things, T spine rotation, similar to the to T spine extension, but except you're kind of moving like this, if you know what I'm saying. Um, let's see what else. The rhomboids attach to your scapula. So if you're tight there, you're not going to be able to have much movement in your scapula. And then internal rotation, basically like going like this. If you have less on one arm than the other, you will experience that impingement earlier than like because you're you're just tight there. So if you need more movement to not feel that because I can't. I wish I knew the science behind it or whatever, but when I go like this, I'll feel my impingement like somewhere like in there deep. Um, so yeah, um, that I wish I could go more deeper into, but I don't have the requisite knowledge for stuff like that. Yeah, and then with that being said, there can also be a lack of stability, which for me, the low trap is one thing that if you don't if you have poor low trap stability, then you will have poor scapular stability. Again, the scapula is not going to move properly. I actually have some videos I want to show you guys how my scapula moves due to this, and it's going to be obvious why I have shoulder pain. So we can look at that in a second. But next thing, this is one of my biggest things actually, is I have poor serratus anterior activation, and basically stability and strength. It allows for the scapula to upwardly rotate as you go overhead in pushing movements specifically, but also things like snatch as well. Because when the serratus anterior shortens, that's when your scapula is going down and around. So then it allows for scapular movement. But again, if you're weak there, other muscles are going to compensate. The larger muscles are going to compensate, and then things are going to pinch against each other. So that is another thing. That's one of my main things. Then two other things: the supraspinatus muscle, that is more active when you are in this position. It's called like a full can. There's an exercise for this too. I think I actually have a
Is it the supraspinatus or the infraspinatus or
super
something like
super
that?
spinatus.
Is it
Super spinatus.
supraspinatus? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the supraspinatus. Um, yeah. Oh, geez, I think I did the wrong one. Oh, whatever. Well, yeah, supraspinatus. It's like right here. What?
I thought it was the infraspinatus muscle. I thought. I don't know. For full cans at least.
Let me confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's the supraspin. Yeah, no, it's the supraspinatus.
Okay, it is. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the supraspinatus is like the smaller one. That's higher up in the external the rotator cuff muscles are. Um, Yeah, that one's active here. Full cans. That's also an exercise you can do. And then the last thing is for me specifically external rotation going overhead in this position because in this position is where I feel the most pain when I like try and push down here. That's where I feel the most pain. There's also two others where down here and up here. If you feel pain in either of those areas, there's exercise for it. Like side lying, you can go like this on a bench. Or like you could do this one with like a cable or a band, stuff like that. That's actually better.
yeah. All
And
right.
then I will talk about some of Darshil's experience with that, and we can go ahead with that.
All right, for sure. So basically, with the last month of training that I did, that Juan helped in terms of writing, that I went through the entire cycle for. We not only did like a bunch of load management work as well as just high volume work, but we also did a lot of things that addressed some of the mobility concerns I had. So one of the issues that I had was also related to what Juan was talking about, which was T-spine mobility. And that was something that when I first started it, I figured that both of my sides were pretty bad, but my right side was actually worse in terms of my T-spine rotation. And I basically had to do almost like in a seated lunge stance and holding a kettlebell and basically rotating. And then I would get to the farthest I would be going to, get out of that aim range slightly, and then basically breathe in and out and basically do that. And that helped a lot in terms of just like in terms of like fixing my rotation there. My lat mobility was also terrible in terms of the fact that like my right side was really bad compared to my left, so I had to really focus on fixing that as well. And that was basically just being able to just grab like a pole or anything, any kind of structure, and kind of just let myself kind of bend both at the thoracic spine as well as my lower back, and just kind of twist into it just enough to where you feel a stretch. And then on top of that, I also did a couple of tests that Juan prescribed to me. One of them was like a prone lateral raise, and that was to basically, and I think we can link some of the stuff that we have here just so you know what we're talking about. But a prone lateral raise, where the point of doing it is that you're basically I think at the edge of a bench or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but you're almost trying to see if your upper trap is relaxed in terms of when you're doing it.
Yeah, and the for that test also the what you're looking for is weakness in the middle and lower trap portion,
Yeah,
and seeing
yeah.
if your upper trap is compensating for that. Because if your upper trap is compensating, you'll probably be stronger in that, but then you'll be like this. But then if you're actually like, say, if you weren't compensating, then it would just drop. You're just like with no strength, just drop like
Yeah.
that. So
And then not only that, just in general for like I had issues with my serratus anterior as well. So I basically did like a wall slide of sorts. And I use like a foam roller to basically apply some amount of pressure to the wall that I'm doing it on, right? And I'm also letting my thoracic spine round, but look up at the same time. And I'm almost slowly going up and pausing at that point and coming back down
yeah,
when I'm doing
and the
those.
purpose of that is for your rounding your back. So then when you do the exercise, you're really teaching your shoulder blade to go down and around. And when it goes down and around, the serratus anterior shortens. So you're really teaching yourself how to use that muscle for proper shoulder blade movement. And then once you get stronger in that muscle, it won't be something you always have to consciously think about. And then there's other exercises. Like I know the landmine press is good for like building on top of that. And then kettlebell windmills too, and like yeah, stuff like that.
And really on top of that, I have like decent internal rotation for my shoulders, but my issue is actually that when I was doing an external rotation test, what I found out was that my right side was a little bit worse than my left. So I had to work on getting that good too, which required me to basically lie almost like on my belly of sorts, and basically have my elbows in such a way where I'd be trying to externally rotate as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I think we all already mentioned it, but we talked briefly about full cans, and that's just basically shit. It's been a little while since I've done it, but it's upside down, right?
No.
Oh, no, it's
Right
no, no,
side
no,
up.
that's empty can. That's empty can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the
So
one that you don't want to do because it's more risk of impingement because you're in an
exactly,
internally
yeah.
rotated position. So if you're someone like me who actually lacks that, that would not be good for you to do.
But since I lack the opposite, which is external rotation, the full can actually helped in terms of being able to properly figure out the stability that I needed to have for my supraspinatus muscle. And I had to do a few weeks of that to get to the point where I didn't feel like my left and right side were off, and I could do them with sufficient amount of weight to the point where I wouldn't have to do them anymore, up until
Yeah.
maybe a flare-up happens again. But it's things like this that it's like you almost think that, oh, just because I don't have shoulder pain, it doesn't mean that I should be doing these things. But I basically had to quit doing power cleans for a little bit because of the fact that I had referred pain that related to the joint surrounding and at the shoulder. So even if you're not directly getting pain there, it is always important, like, note that wherever's around it, right, it still matters. Like you still need
Yeah.
to figure out what mobility concerns you have to address. And that's the same thing that you might see even with like lower back pain, for example. Like you may not have lower back pain, but you have related nerves or issues that could happen, like your hamstring, for example, related to sciatica or anything like that. So
Yeah. To
direct
give
pain
some
isn't always how
examples,
you look at it.
yeah, to give some examples on that, like for the knee, most knee problems can come from a lack. Okay, let me clarify. Especially with us kind of athletes, it's not going to ever fix itself because of what like the nature of our training. Like it will never be, I guess, 100%. Depending on what level you're at. It's more about managing the pain, but basically knee problems can come from lack of hip stability and mobility, and same with the ankles as well, mainly in mobility. So it's usually like for the knee, it could be a problem in the hip or the ankle, and then for the elbow, it could be the problem in the shoulder. Mid back pain, like could be a problem in the shoulder. Neck pain could be a problem from the shoulder. So yeah, it's also like things like that as an example, and like yeah, how like you have a hip hike, so that can be a little bit provocative. Like it can make your back pain more sensitive. So it's good to do single leg touchdown squats for that to work on the stability on one side, so that can even out and help you manage that pain. But ultimately, managing pain is about actually managing it, managing the symptoms, and you know changing up the exercise when you need to, changing the intensities, changing the volumes when you need to, going like up and down with that with whatever you can handle. So yeah, that's my explanation on that. And if you have anything else to say, we can end this off.
I don't got much else to say. I just wanted to, I know that, yeah, I just wanted to add some of my, or not my 2 cents necessarily, but just at least examples of
Yeah.
how being able to address your mobility and such is probably going to help a lot in terms of fixing any issues you might potentially be having.
Yep. All right, yeah, boys. I got a lot of work to do, a lot of studying to do to provide you guys more value. So yeah, I'll be definitely doing that in the future. Definitely will post more on my socials as well. Speaking of that, follow our socials in the description below. Me, Darshil, and Jayden, who's not here but will be here in the next podcast, which we will have a special guest for. So, if you guys enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and Spotify if you're on that. Follow us, give us 5 stars, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.